Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and my craft table. I'm so glad you're here. In today's video, I'm going to be creating 4 sweet and simple cards for 4 of my students who are seniors this year and graduating in about 12 days. So in this video, I'm going to be using this stamp and die set. This is a gift with purchase that I received recently from an order that I placed with Simon Says Stamp. So I thought, what better way to put it to good use than to make some really fun cards for my kids. I'll meet you down at the craft table and we'll get started. Okay, so I'm very excited about using this sweet little stamp set and the coordinating dies. I was very excited to have this included as a gift with purchase in my recent order with Simon Says Stamp. We are going to get our card panels ready. And like I said, I need 4. Look at that, I grabbed 4 exactly. I'm gonna start out with some simple ink blending. Okay, so I have grabbed my sticky mat, and this is just a silicone mat, much like what the stamps are made out of. And I get that on there, and we're gonna do 4 panels today. Let me see if zooming in is better for you. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna move my sticky mat just a little bit. I've got 4 students, and I asked them the other day, I said, what are your favorite, what's your favorite color? Now our school colors are black and orange and whites, because we're the Tigers, so black and orange. But I asked my kids, what their favorite colors were. So they all told me, one loves green, one loves red, then we have a blue, and then we have a purple. So I'm gonna do a super light, very minimalistic background using these distress oxides. So I'm gonna go ahead and start out with my blue one. Now this is called Broken China, and I'm gonna be using this Spellbinders Star Bright stencil. It's a 6x6 stencil, and it's just background stars, so I think that's great. I'm going to place this. Ooh, I kind of like that big star coming off of the bottom right there. Kind of like that. Okay, so press this down all the way. Let's do a little bit of ink blending. Okay, so for each of these 4 panels, I'm going to use Distress Oxide. And I'm just going to ink up my brush really, really good. Tap it off just a little bit. I'm gonna start out on the stencil and move in, okay? And I do not want to have a heavy hand, but I really do want to just kind of fade up toward the top. Okay, you'll have to tell me if you have any seniors in your circle this year. Either your own senior, or maybe someone you know has a student who's graduating. All right, so now that I have this blue wash on there, okay, I'm just gonna kind of wipe this down a little bit. I want to grab this Uncharted Mariner, and I'm gonna just do a little bit of gradient on the bottom corner. This will be my darker color. Kind of tap it off there. So Broken China is first, and then we're just going to come in down here. And I don't want to go up very much, and I don't want to be super dark with this either, but mainly concentrating kind of down here in this corner. So I think that we're going to see what this looks like. This is my favorite part of a stencil, and I always forget that I like stenciling. I have stencils and I always forget that they are there. So I'm gonna lift this up, but I'm gonna hold this corner down in case I need to put it back down. So I don't want it to really go anywhere. And that is actually what I'm looking for. So it's a little bit darker down here in this bottom corner, but it kind of fades up and over. So this is great. And I'm just going to pull this up. I'm going to set this aside over here and grab another panel. And then again with our little stencil. And they're all going to be similar cards that, you know, I'll try to vary them a little bit. But at the same time, they can all kind of be a little bit the same. Okay, so now I have candied apple, which I would call candy apple, in my opinion, like a schoolhouse red. To me, this is like a Christmas, and that's like a schoolhouse. Gonna go ahead and do the same thing with this stencil that I just did on the other one. All right, so here is our red panel. Let's see what this looks like. I was a little worried at the beginning because I don't think I cleaned off the blue enough. Oh, that's even way better than the blue one. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna pull this one up and set this aside to dry. Now I am going to go ahead and clean my stencil. So to clean stencils, I just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol. I don't get it on my mat. Okay, so I don't want this mat to be covered with alcohol because it is photopolymer, just like your stamps. But the alcohol does a great job cleaning a stencil super fast. And the best part is that it dries pretty much instantly. There we go, nice and clean. And then if you want to clean your photopolymer sticky mat, you can just, you know, take to the sink, rub it under some water, maybe a tiny bit of gentle, mild, very mild soap. I usually just rinse it off really good with water, and then let it dry completely. And then it's, you know, it's like a regular sticky stamp. This is like basically one big ginormous rectangular stamp. And then I keep it in that little zipper bag that you just saw. Okay, this time we're gonna do green. So I've got Mowed Lawn. That'll be my lighter color. And then I got Rustic Wilderness, and that'll be my darker color. For those of you that are new to Distress Oxide, these are like a hybrid between they're hybrid. They're like a pigment ink and a dye ink all in one. What I like about these the most is that they have just this most beautiful smooth finish. They're soft. You can make them as vibrant and heavy as you want, but they're soft. They blend beautifully. Okay, so here's our green. So we'll do our Rustic Wilderness. This was one of my very first oxide colors. Okay. So again, I'm just gonna kind of wipe some of this off, and I'll clean it in a second, and then we'll reveal our green. Peel and reveal. Oh, that looks pretty. Here is our last one. Okay, so now I have Seedless Preserves and Wilted Violet. So Seedless Preserves here and Wilted Violet there. I think this is good to go. These look great, and I am very pleased with how these came out. Isn't that great? Love that. All right, I'm gonna clean this up super fast, and then I will be right back for us to move on to the next section. All right, we are on to our next piece. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit actually. I'm gonna be using these this Lawn Fundamentals Premium Ink Pad Jet Black. Now normally I use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink for my stamps because it is alcohol marker friendly, but so is this one. And I wanted to try out the Lawn Fawn. I am hoping that my vision works, but I'm also, I am wanting to keep it, you know, when I say relatively simple, well, we want a graduation cap, and we'll do a stack of books and another graduation cap. And I'll just go ahead and do all of the words. Okay, a couple of tips about these stamps. First of all, you noticed it was like sticking to my fingers. If you take a pencil, you can move it around where you need it to go, and it, for some reason, it doesn't stick to the pencil, but it'll stick to my fingers, so there's that. Also, if you ever have stamps in your stash and you're like, wow, I love them, but man, I wish I could cut them out without having to cut them with scissors. I do have a video, and I will link that for you here down in the description, but basically you can stamp your images, scan them in to your computer and upload them to Cricut Design Space, and then you can use your Cricut to cut out the die cuts, and then you basically reverse stamp. So you die cut everything with your Cricut, and then you stamp onto those pieces. But I'll link that video in case you are someone that would like to know how to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna put this right up here, and I think I'll move my word down just a hair. So I'm gonna close my MISTI, and then this is gonna go right back in that corner. I'm gonna put that right there. And then, not that I necessarily need it, but because my corner is really like I only have that one tiny little corner, I'm gonna go ahead and put a piece of tape along this corner just to help keep that paper in place. I'm going to do two different inks. So they're black. I'm gonna do my VersaFine Clair. Now this is what I use for sentiments because it is so dark and so crisp. This is a fully pigment ink. Once it's fully dry, you can watercolor with it. So it's, you know, once it's dry, you can do a lot with it. We're gonna do VersaFine here in the top for the words. Okay. And with the words, I don't wanna press too hard because I don't want the words to spread out. But see right here, you can tell with my congratulations. I'm gonna put that back down, and then I'm gonna press that little O, and now it's ready to go. I am not gonna re-ink that. I'm just gonna let it be. Get this into place. Now this is the alcohol marker friendly ink. So this is the one I will use down here on these three images. And again, I'm kind of stamping light initially, and then I will go in, and it's okay if I have to stamp it, you know, twice or three times, because that's kind of the beauty of the MISTI. And I like using this pressure tool because then I get even pressure instead of like my fingers that are uneven. I think that looks great. I'm not gonna mess with that. We're just gonna let that be. So now that everything is set, once I pull this particular card panel up, I can just place the other card panels in one by one. I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna get the other three card panels stamped out with their images, and then we can move on to the next thing. Okay, got all of the stamping done, and I have my MISTI, you know, cleaned up, ready to go. I cleaned off the stamps using my stamp cleaner, and I just buy that at Hobby Lobby. I love it. It's very inexpensive. It smells like bubble gum. This is what it looks like. It's by Ranger, so it's the same company that makes the distressed oxides. But you can just find this at Hobby Lobby. I paid $4.49 for mine, and I really enjoy using it. I do have like a little stamp chamois that I can just get wet with water, and that actually really cleans your stamps quite well. I need to decide what I'm gonna do with all of these graduation caps and books. And I'm cutting these down and off. I'm gonna use my small Scout this morning with my die cutting, so that will make quick work of going through there. Okay, so I have some alcohol markers. Now, what I did is I just chose like a light and a medium green, a light and medium red, I have a light and medium blue. Same thing with my purple. And then I have like a very super light gray that I thought would be great for the pages of the books. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just doing a tiny little swipe with the brush side of my alcohol markers. Super easy coloring. And I'd like to do I'd like to do the same color all around. That way, I just find it takes less time. Okay, so we have all of the pages of our books. Just want to take a peek here at these 3 gray ones. So I have something called Gray Dream, and I'm just going to do a swipe. And then we have, what is this one? Charcoal Suit. See, that's pretty dark. That's almost like the black in a way. So I'm going to set that aside right away. And this is called Cloudy Night. I think I'm actually going to use this color here. This was called Limestone. And that's kind of, it's like a grayish taupe color. And I think between that and that, I can probably achieve the look that I want. Okay, that is definitely what I was thinking. So you've got some gradient. Love that. Okay. We are going to go with that. I'm going to go ahead and color all of the hats, and then I'm going to color all of the books. So I'm going to put some music back on, and you can sit and relax and enjoy your favorite beverage. Hopefully it is coffee like mine. Okay, I have all of these colored. I decided just to do the books in their favorite color. Now, throughout this process, I did get outside of the lines a little bit on a few of these. So I will just show you, like here is this red one. Do you see around the top of the books? Like I have a little bit of over coloring. I call it over coloring. But all I'm doing is just going over those little extra blotches of coloring where I got outside the lines. And then when I die cut, there really shouldn't be any issue. This one is ready to go. So these are those jelly roll pins. You can get them anywhere. Amazon, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, etc. You can pretty much get them anywhere. Now, I'm gonna start die cutting. I'm gonna line up my dies, just like so, taped into place. And I'm gonna put the washi tape on the outside of the die so that it doesn't move. This is a great way to use up washi tape that you don't really like. Okay, we've got all of these washi taped down. We're gonna run them through our little scout. And then we're just gonna pop all of these out. And these look so good. Very pleased with how these are looking. And then see, look how cute those are. All right, so that is the process for getting everything cut out using your die cut machine. And again, if you want stamps and you don't have a die cut machine, like a manual one, but you have a Cricut, I will link that video so that you can watch how you can use your Cricut to get everything cut out for you. Of course, you can always just fussy cut. All right, I am going to get all of these cut out and then we'll start putting together some cards. All right, all done with the die cutting, so that is great. All right, the only thing left to do is to get these put on the card. So normally I do a top folding card. Actually, I do really like side folding cards, but we're going to do some top folding cards today. I'm going to go ahead and score each of these. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. 4 1/4 by 11. So we're going to score this at 5 1/2. It's very early for math, and I'm a math teacher. But I have not had enough coffee. Okay, so get this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I want to cut these down slightly. I don't want to cut them down too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my panel and we're going to cut these down to, let's do an 1/8 all the way around. All right, so now showtime. We've got our card bases. We have some layering panels in black, and this is that shimmer black that you'll know I love. So we've got a little element of shine. We have these here, these embossed panels, and we've got all of our die cuts, and here is some glue. Okay, so I'm going to just use some tape runner for these black panels and these white panels. And we're just going to get each of these onto the cards. And I'm going to do as even as I possibly can. Okay, so the card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this black grounding panel is going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So basically I just took an 1/8 off of the length and the width. It'll give a nice mat to ground everything, and it is pretty, so it's so shimmery. And so 3 of them are girls and 1 is a boy. And I don't think my boy will mind if there's a tiny little sliver of some shimmer black. I think it'll be okay. So when I'm mass producing cards, I do try and do things in stages, so like an assembly line. Now obviously the coloring, the stamping, and then the coloring and the die cutting, yes, that, you know, does take a while. Oh hey, what is going on with my tape runner? Oh, it's at the end. Well, good thing I have all the stuff on here I need. We'll just grab another one here in a second. Okay, but as I was saying, it's very helpful just to do everything as an assembly line. It just goes so much faster. All right, plop this right back down in there, and we are back in business. Okay, and then this will get centered on here as best we can. So see, just look at the difference. Okay, I'm gonna show you. So no grounding panel, right? Grounding panel. Oh, just love it. Okay, so we've got 3 more to go. Speaking of mass producing cards, I am thinking, well, 2 things. One, summer is coming. I'll be on summer break, and I feel like I need to go ahead and get a head start on my holiday cards and also replenish my birthday cards. So I think I'm going to do like a Christmas card series once a month. Come out, I was thinking maybe like the 25th of each month. And then I could get my holiday cards done sooner this year. And then embarrassingly enough, I have a ton of card kits. I just love them. I love to play with them, collect them, like it's a thing. But so many of them I haven't had time to play with. So I was thinking of doing a monthly series where I pull out a card kit that I've purchased, but that I hadn't done anything with yet. I don't know. These are ideas I'm kicking around. If you have any ideas, whether it's a card craft or a Cricut craft, if you have any ideas for things you would like to see on the channel, don't hesitate to tell me down in the comments. I'm always happy to make videos for things that you guys have requested. Okay, see, that went fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I just put my logo sticker on the back. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of decide where everything goes. All right, here are all of the elements for each card. So I think I'm going to put one of them together, lock, stock, and barrel with you. All right, so my idea was basically have this in the middle, this stacked on top of the books, kind of like it's there, and then a little deal like that, a little hat, something like that. And quite frankly, again, they're high schoolers. They may not even worry with where everything is placed. I'm going to put on to the next chapter down here. So maybe they all will get the same. We'll see. Okay, so we have this here. So something I just thought of. So the books are going to be slightly, In fact, I'll just put the books down like this. All right, so now this is gonna be not popped up. I wouldn't say popped up, but it is gonna be like above the books as far as like a layer is concerned. I am going to cut a small piece of cardstock, and we are going to put it so like that bottom half of the IONS, we don't want anything there. Okay, but we do want to kind of pop some of this stuff up. And I'm just using some of that scrap from earlier. This is kind of like a foam tape, but not really. So now this will go on top of the card, this part here, and then this bottom little edge will go on top of the books, and it'll be level. It won't be cattywampus. I have some little foam squares. I believe these are 1 millimeter, and we are going to cut the tiniest sliver. And put that right there. Another tiny sliver here in this end. And then a third over on the other end. Okay, so there's our hat. And take all these release papers off. Okay, and then I think I'll put it right here. That's great. And as far as this word up here, I'm not gonna pop that up. I'm just gonna put that down in this corner. So just like that. That's great. And then on the inside, oh, I'll have to use my sand eraser to get whatever that is off. Okay, and I'll just put this right here on the inside. Just like that. And I'm not sure what, it's almost like it looks like a pencil smudge. Fantastic. There is one of the cards. And I'm going to go ahead and get these others done really quick, and then I want to add a little something to the girls. You'll see. All right, all of our cards are done. I do want to come in with my pen, and I do want to add just a tiny bit of little highlights for the books. Just a little bit, and then maybe a little bit on the hat. And I'm just kind of willy-nilly putting these on here. Just a little. Just enough to give it a little bit of something to look at. Like I said, there are 3 girls and 1 boy. So his is red, and I'm not going to do anything else with this card. Like, this is way to go. These, for the girls, I'm going to take this clear shimmer pen, and I want to put a little bit of sparkle on the tassel. So I'm barely touching this, but just a little tiny line of sparkle. And then maybe a couple of, actually, See, I just touched that star. Do you see how I just touched that star right there? Whew. Okay, so we don't want to do that, but I think the tassel is fine. So the black ink, this is that waterproof pigment ink, so it can handle some shimmer. All right, well, here are each of our cards. So here is my red one, and yes, they do all look the same, but I want to show you the shimmer with the girls. See, look, can you see the shimmer on the tassel? Oh, a little bit. There you go. Just a little. The colors are different. The hats are placed differently. You can really see the shimmer on that one. But these turned out great, and I'm very excited. I did put the "So Proud of You" on the inside, so I'll be writing a little note. I'm very excited to hand these out to them, and I think it'll be really special, and I will probably just pair it with one of those super ginormous candy bars that you can get at the grocery store. But these are awesome. So let me know what you think about these. And I would say if you do choose to mass produce some cards like this, definitely go, you know, all of your card stock, all of your panels, you know, do all of your stenciling first, do all of your color stamping, and do everything in batches. It really does go faster. I am a slow crafter by nature anyway, but I find that if I work in batches like that, things do go faster. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I do greatly appreciate you being here. I will, if I can find the things that I used today, I will link those down in the description for you. I think these are super fun. Don't forget to like the video, and if you can, go ahead and hype the video. That's even better. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any cards or crafts that come to the channel. And I think with all of that, thank you again for spending your time with me. Have an amazing day and happy crafting. Hello, crafty friends. Thanks for making it to the end with me. I'm so glad you were here to share in the crafty fun. Here are a couple more videos that I think you might find inspiring. And don't forget to like, comment below, and subscribe. So until I see you in the next video, have a great day, and as always, happy crafting.